Hey everyone, so today, for the past couple of days, I've been playing Shogun 2 online, and seeing as it's the first time I've really been playing it, I thought I might give a couple of commentaries and see on my experience on how I did in it. I'm actually, I've played quite a lot of the Total Wars in the past, so I'm not exactly new to it, but when it comes to online, I have never played that before. So, on the terms of that, I'm going to sort of go through my own journey through playing the multiplayer and how I use my tactics as a noob to sort of win the first couple of battles and sort of move on to the intermediate stages. So, I have played other Total War games, like I've played Medieval and I've also played Rome Total War. So, when I came onto Shogun, it was really good actually. A lot of the controls and how the AI reacts is a lot better than the other game, and also the multiplayer is much easier instead of using what was it, Game Spy, I think, to get on to host matches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a couple of battle replays that I had and just sort of give you the tactics that I used to sort of win them. So I think I'll give you two gameplays here, and on the first one I actually think my opponent rage quit, which is kind of unusual because this was my second game. The first game I got beaten outright. I was acting really stupid. I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm not that bad when it comes to knowing what units do and stuff. I know the basics, like spears beat cav, bows can harass cavalry and units. You know, cavalry is really good at, sort of demoralizing morale when it comes to rear charging and stuff. So I do know how the game kind of works, but I've never really played against other people and seen their sort of tactics and how you engage them. So that's why I thought I might sort of create this sort of series where I show myself and what exactly I do and the tactics I use. So once the loading screen's done, I'll show you the army I'm using. And this was the more or less the first army I ever used. So what I have is, I'll just pause this quickly, is I have two light cavalry that are hidden in the woods here, and I have one more here because, as you can see on the map, there's these three sort of places which you can capture, and it gives you certain abilities. Like this one increases your stamina, this one increases the morale, and this one here is, I think it's to do with armor. Yeah, armor and melee defense. So I know that, seeing as I'm quite a new player and I have no veteran units, no units that have upgrades at all from experience, that I need to capture some of these to gain an advantage. So if I start this now, I'll go through my units a little bit more. So I have the two light cavalry and then one over there, and then I have a main contingent of four lone sword ashigaru. I have, let's see, how many? I have two bow ashigarus, I think, or yeah, I have two bow ashigarus. I have one yari ashigaru, and then I have one nagi attendants and one two naginata attendants, and then I have my general unit, which is right here. And so let's see if we can find him. He's somewhere here. He's the one with the ridiculous crescent. Oh, I'll find him another time. Anyway, so my opponent, I think he has a bow general, and you see he's got 4 chevrons, so he's upgraded as well. So he's gonna come up here, and he tried to harass me a little bit while my men were getting into place. And while he does that, I sort of take my cavalry here, and in a second I'm going to sort of go around, and during that time I'm going to just take my cavalry and sort of capture this point, because I can't see him bringing any cavalry out of these woods to sort of surprise attack me. And in his army he has two of these matchlock ashigaru, and they've got guns, so they can severely demoralize the army from what I've seen in the past. And then here we have some yari samurai, then I have some katana samurai, I think, yeah. And then he's got some more katana samurai that are green, and another yari. So he's got less melee troops than me. However, he does have these two matchlock, and I don't think he brought any cavalry at all, actually, which I believe is a downfall in this game. You always need some sort of cavalry, unless you're playing the New Fall of the Samurai, where you could just have gun units. But even then, I would still say it's worth to have some cavalry, and that's where my advantage comes in these games, is I like to use cavalry to my advantage because they're very fast and they can get where they need to be really quickly, and they can outflank. So generally, as a new player, I would suggest that you bring some cavalry, not a lot. Like, actually I only have 3 here, but you must bring some just to make your army a little bit more versatile. So, seeing as this is my second game and I really didn't know what I was doing, these guys were supposed to fire on these matchlocks, and I think I clicked the orders wrong. So they're just going to walk up here and get shot a little bit, and it's kind of, yeah, it was kind of a really bad move of my play because their morale is wavering. So I decided to pull them back, but at this point I realized that they're gonna die anyway. I can't really save them, so I'm just like, okay, just charge into the enemy, cause some sort of blocking while I get my main lone sword army into place. And while I do that as well, I've got my Ashigaru and my Naginata attendants. Oh, I have two Yari Ashigaru coming in from behind, and then the two Nagi attendants because I just realized he had no cavalry. So I kind of walked my men up to this point, and now I'm going to charge them in because as you see here, my opponent's men are already tired, and that was to do with just having them run all the way up this hill. And he notices that I brung my two cavalry round the back, so he knows that he has to block me off. So he's done something really good here. He has this Yari Samurai to try and block me, which is a really good tactic because to get through them, I'm going to have to take my cavalry through, and to do that will kill them because, as you know, spear beats cavalry. So what I really did here was I tried to make a diversion where one light cavalry would sort of hold up this Yari Samurai while the other one would come in from behind. And if you look carefully, now he's put the rally ability, but his men are still faltering because he has less melee troops, even though they are more experienced. And my general, which you should always have, is you always keep your general behind your men because morale is very big in this game. And what I've come to realize that is if your general dies, your chances of winning the match, no matter the numbers, is limited because morale can just shatter just like that depending on your troops. So at this point, I have the melee advantage, and I sort of bring in my cavalry here. I think you missed that. But I sort of caused a hammer and anvil on my enemy, and I thought he realized by then he was going to lose. So he rage quit. But it was a good game nonetheless. It was my first victory. I wasn't going to let him leaving it as such a bad thing. And there's not many people that leave. The community on Shogun 2 is very good, actually. I have a lot of friendly games with lots of players. So that was the first battle, and I'll show you the results screen here. So basically, what I used to my advantage was I brought cavalry, and I think my opponent made the mistake by bringing not enough melee troops as well. He had his matchlocks, but they didn't really do much because even though my bow Ashigaru was useless, they still held up the matchlocks and stopped them from sort of engaging my melee troops. So if you see here, I deployed a hell of a lot more men because of the fact he had veterans and stuff, and I did lose more, but I did manage to kill a lot of his units here. And if you look carefully, yeah, see some of these, the lone swords sort of racked up the kills, so they were the main contingent, and then my light cavalry sort of killed. So his Avatar's bodyguard, actually, he killed quite a lot because he's quite ranked up, so, and the rest of his units didn't exactly do so well. They sort of got the kills, but he only had 4 melee units, and I had 4 of my lone swords. Then I had 2 Nagina attendants and Ashigaru to back that up, as well as light cavalry that came in for a hammer and anvil, which is when you attack the rear and it causes morale to falter. So that's a very good tactic if you're wanting to use cavalry. So anyway, let's move on to the next replay. This was my third one. Generally, when I'm going to be doing these replays, I'm just going to be showing you just the games I've been playing. Mostly the wins for the moment, but if I see a good game that I played and I lost, and I know why, and I can sort of see how to, like, you know, improve from that, I'll show it to you as well. So this is a different map now. This is the New Mazawa map. Sorry if I said that wrong. And as you can see, there's a giant sort of pond, like dividing the two armies. So so one arm's going to start on this side, and one arm's going to start on this side, and there's 3 again. There's 3 shrines, and as you can see, there's 2 here. So on my side, it gives me a lot more of an advantage because it means he has to come around. But he has the best shrine, as I can see. I'll just pause this here. He has the oh no, he doesn't actually. He has the bow dojo, I think it is, and then that's the morale shrine, and that's uh the armor shrine. My bad. I actually have the better side. So again, I think I have the same army, but I'll have a little check. I can't remember. Yes, I have. Again, I have the same sort of army setup. I have my 2 Bo Ashigaru, 1 Yari behind, and then I have my 2 Naginata attendants, and I think I have 2 cavalry hidden in this wood area, and then I have 1 here in case he sort of brings cavalry straight away to take this. So my opponent this time he brought 1, 2, 3 Naginata samurais, and he brought 2 lone swords, 1 bow samurai that's very damaged. I thought that was a bow hero for a minute there. He has 2 bow samurai, and then he has his avatar's bodyguard. And then I think he has 1 cavalry unit that's sort of sneaking around these bushes here, and I managed to catch them off guard later. So I know for the moment that to get across here, he's going to have to cross this sort of river bit, and he's going to get bogged up. So I know he's not going to try and rush across that fast. So I know that I can take my time. So really what I do is I send my avatar's bodyguard to sort of capture this shrine. I think that's the armor shrine. And then I sort of, seeing as I know I can't really see any cavalry coming out from this area, and he's kind of focused on heading to the center, I send another cavalry out to capture this shrine. And the good thing about cavalry is they're very fast and they're very versatile. So this is why, as a beginning player, I like to bring cavalry. I like to use cavalry quite a lot. However, with the fact of bringing cavalry, you have to bring a lot of micromanagement, and that's, you know, clicking orders, sort of watching what your units do, because when you have units all over the map, you're going to lose track of them if you're not paying attention. And I've done that quite a lot. But in this game, unlike the first game, I seem to have micromanaged it a little bit better. So for the moment, see, I kind of find that he's bringing out this light cavalry, so I can tell that he's got hidden units. However, seeing as I don't know if he got any more, I'm just sort of going to sort of play cat and mouse and sort of sit in this woods and see if it tries to do anything. And eventually he just leaves them here to click other orders, and that's a big mistake on my opponent's part, because that leaves me a chance to sort of run down his light cavalry with my 2 units. So at this point, I've almost captured the missile, or bow dojo, sorry, and then he's sort of going for this morale shrine, which is fine, because at this point I have 2, while he has his 1, as well as I have 1 that increases my armor, so that would definitely help me in a fight. And what my opponent does next is he sort of takes his cavalry here to try and, you know, outflank my men if he's going onto a frontal charge. And what he really should have been doing at this point is just taking out his bow samurai and sort of skirmishing with my units, because as you see, I didn't really, you know, put my meat shields, as they're called, my Naginata attendants, which are very low koku. They're like 150 to 200 koku for sword attendants, and then 150 for Naginata attendants. They're really my meat shields, and what I should have done is I should have put them out in front. But he's not really doing much at this point, and actually I have no clue if he was playing or not, because I sort of just snuck down my cavalry, and I sort of waited to see if he would sort of turn them around in case, so I could just run my cavalry away. But at this point he didn't actually do anything, and I managed to get a nice charge on his general, which is a big mistake. You should never let your general get attacked from the rear flank. So at this point, see, he's already almost got, ooh, that was nasty. He's got only 6 avatars bodyguard yet, but he's brought in some bow samurai and there's Naginata samurai to sort of fend off my cavalry, which in my defense it is a sacrifice to just kill his general, which I don't manage to do, but it sort of holds up his army while I can get my meat shields into place. And at this point I can fire some of my bow ashigaru into the giant blob of men, so it's they're sort of racking up kills, while I leave my fresh lone sword ashigaru to charge in after. So at this point, these guys are gonna get more tired beforehand, and now that I see the opportunity, I've taken out this light cav, and I'm sort of bringing in more light cavalry from behind again for another hammer and anvil to sort of kill off his general and then demoralize the rest of his men, which I managed to do because his general's only got 3 guys left. And a good move on my opponent's part is he actually brung in his Naginatas from behind again for a final sort of clobbering. But at this point it's a bit too late and his units just rout. His general dies, I think, and at this point my opponent is lost. because he only has one unit left, and that was a 19 after from behind. But again, it was a good game from my opponent. He didn't leave, and he was very polite while playing it. And that's why I like playing this game online. I was very, I don't know, skeptic about playing this game online, because from what I've seen from other people playing, it's really hard to control. Like, I've seen some of those proper players. I follow a couple people on YouTube who just sort of play this game online all the time, and they seem to be really good. And you need a sort of strategy when you play it, and that's what I'm going to try and show you through some of my videos, is the fact that I've got some tactics that I prefer to use, and it can be good for somebody who's starting off new. I'm not going to be just doing the old Shogun 2. I'm going to be doing some of the Fall of the Samurai, because I have that expansion as well. So I'm going to be recording some videos of me sort of showing you some tactics from there, and I have lost some of them. I've lost quite a lot of them, but it's all kind of a learning experience, and I actually have a couple of really good gameplays to show you how to like make the best of your like sort of army. And for this point, seeing as I'm a level 1 and you have to get to level 3, you only have a small funds unit, so it's like 5,000. So for the time being on the videos, the battles aren't going to be that long, so I will probably be doing 2 of them at a time, maybe 3. See, that battle only lasted 4 minutes 50. But anyway, let's see the unit stats here. So I managed to kill quite a lot of his units without taking many losses. See, like, the most losses I've taken is 33, and that was from my throwaway units. Really, my lone sword, my melee contingent lost almost no men, yet they managed to rack up some kills. 66 kills there to 6 deaths. So my opponent, he really should have brought more cavalry in my defense, and maybe not spend so much time trying to run across. I think he should have stayed on his side and captured that ammunition, seeing as he did have these bow samurai, which are very powerful against my sort of soft targets. But anyway, so there we go. That's 2 battles there. That should give you an indication of what I've been doing on this game, and I have a couple more games coming up. I think they're more Fall of the Samurai now, because I've been playing that a lot more than normal Shogun, but I will mix it up. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll be back shortly to show you some more.